and just tired. But I have always wanted to wrestle an octopus. Wrestle an octopus.
So apparently there's this new show called Wishfart that came along. And it's Canadian made too. And do y'all remember what happened when Canada made a cartoon?
My name is Angela, hey hello. Welcome to my Marion show. I'll introduce my friends to you.
Well, fortunately this time, I have to say, it seems to be a lot better when it comes to aesthetics. So, Wishfart's created by John Hazlett, who, according to his IMDb page, seems to not have worked on any animated series in the past, but we'll see where this goes. So, first of all, let's go through the characters and concepts. Now, this show is based on a wish-granting leprechaun, a Japanese ghost girl, and a talking puffin. How Hazlett came up with this set of characters would be a mystery to me, I guess. Maybe it was St. Patrick's Day, and he was watching anime while bird spotting. I don't know. But I have to say, it's quite an interesting set of characters, and it really managed to grab my attention and engage me as an audience. Basically, what happens in the show is pretty simple. Someone accidentally or intentionally makes a wish, and in either way, Des, who is the leprechaun guy, grants a wish with his magical finger. And what usually happens is, the wish backfires and the protagonists have to deal with a shitstorm they created. Now, let's talk about characters. First of all, there's Puffin. He has a very extroverted personality, he doesn't pay his bills, and he's a bit of a dick. Well, I do find that bird pretty cool, mainly because I love puffins. Like, just look at how adorable they are. And moving on, we have Akiko, who is a Japanese ghost. And like Puffin, she has a quite extroverted personality, and she also looks like she's high on crack 24/7. One thing I have against the show is how the writers made Akiko Japanese, for the sake of being Japanese. Like, the only thing that tells me that she's Japanese is that she has black hair, and that she mutters a Japanese word now and then.
Let's get out of here. Ikimashou.
It isn't ingrained in her personality and actions, and it makes it feel really random and forced in. Now, admittedly, I didn't watch all of the episodes, but there is nothing in the plot that relates to the fact that she's Japanese. Like, it doesn't show her culture, not in her personality, not anything. Now, I live in a country that's relatively close to Japan, and it's quite safe for me to say that the culture in Japan is pretty introverted, no nonsense, and systematic, and that's literally the opposite of Akiko. Now, to be honest, I think it would be great if the writers of a show reflect more of the Japanese cultural aspect in her, unless they want to be culturally appropriate. Hey, after all, it's a Canadian show. And finally, we got Des. Now, Des is the introverted dude, and he likes to stick to his own business. I really like how the creators of a show made the extroverted, rowdy side characters, Puffin and Akiko, to ask Des to grant a wish for them. And it's quite smart that they made Des' personality different from the others, so Des won't comply with Puffin and Akiko's every single wish. If Des has the same personality as the other two characters, the show would look like a bunch of rowdy British football fans, with one of them being a leprechaun granting 5 wishes per second while walking away, with the entire world collapsing around them. One thing I have against Des is that he doesn't have an Irish accent. Like, he's a bloody leprechaun.
Alright, butthole. Where's the gold?
You lads don't know what you're doing. I need to deliver an important message. There's going to be an attack.
One thing I have a problem with is the overall concept of a show. Like, I think the formula of accidentally making wishes and cleaning up a mess could get old pretty quickly. However, I think this problem could be fixed by putting certain exceptions to Des's magical abilities. Maybe every time Des makes a wish, his wish-granting abilities diminish, and one of the antagonists of the story gets the wish-granting ability. And when the antagonist grants a wish, they lose that power and the ability gets transferred back to Des, and vice versa. And I think that will make a pretty cool story. Finally, we have the art. And that's the part that I did not enjoy too much. Now, let me get the first thing out of the way. The line art. It uses this sort of generic thin black line that almost all modern cartoons have nowadays. But I won't blame them, because they're probably given a low budget by the nature of the show. And then we get the colour. One thing I'm really annoyed about is that the show seems to have this greenish, desaturated hue and tone to it, which makes it look pretty gross and unappealing. And the only time I saw this work in animation is Flapjack, where the greenish hue actually works to build a theme. And also Flapjacks gives it a texture, unlike Wishfart, where they probably just use a filter or something. Now obviously the show shouldn't look like Problem Solvers or something, but they should choose another hue, such as maybe magenta, which works with a mystical theme of magic, as seen in the show. And we could see the magenta hue used in Steven Universe. Or they could try orange, if the creator doesn't want it to look too girlish. The orange hue has worked out in the Loud House before, and that show has lovely visuals. And I think that Wishfart has the same potential. Okay, with my least favourite part out of the way, let's talk about my favourite bit of the show, the intro. Now, I sort of have this thing with music. For me, if the music is good, it automatically gives me a bias in favour of a show. The last time that happened to me is when I watched Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Now, don't get me wrong, the show itself is already great, but the intro song and graphics want me to come back and watch more. Now, same thing goes with Wishfart. Although I do not absolutely love the show, the intro makes me want to watch more of it, definitely. It is just so damn catchy, and the visuals give it even more energy. Now, although it'd be nice to tone down the brightness of the colours a little bit, or else I'll probably get someone a seizure, but yeah, props to the music producer and the people who storyboarded the intro. It's great, it works, love it. Now, overall, I have to say that I enjoyed the show quite a bit, and it did manage to give me a laugh or two. The characters aren't all that compelling though, and the stories could get slightly repetitive over time. But despite that, it's filled with creative ideas, and I would definitely recommend you to watch an episode or two of it. Or just tune in for the intro. I personally think the best episode out of the 5 or so that I watched would be the first one. It managed to crack me up a few times, but more importantly, the chemistry between the characters shows the most in this episode.
Sorry, Puffin, but I gotta leave you hanging. I can't ask Des to take my place. And if I'm truthful, I will never buy the donuts.
Like, they feel more like real people than cardboard cutouts. However, as you progress along the episodes, you kinda get a few dodgy episodes here and there, and bits and pieces like this.
Japanese girls puke in each other's mouths.
What the hell is that? Yeah, the point is, it isn't too consistent. But still go and check it out, even if it's just for the intro. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Insta.